10 ways to break the cycle of overthinking and return to clarity. Guided by the Quiet Guide. You're sitting at your desk. The work is right there in front of you. The open document, the half-written email, the list of tasks waiting quietly. The plan is clear. The day is laid out. Nothing is missing except your ability to begin. Your hands rest on the table, but your mind is somewhere else entirely. Thoughts circling, possibilities spiraling, what-ifs branching into more what-ifs. You scroll, switch tabs, return, hover, pause, reread the same sentence without absorbing a single word. It feels like being mentally busy while physically frozen, tired without moving, exhausted without acting, full of thoughts but empty of clarity. And deep in that quiet stillness, a familiar question rises inside you. Why am I like this? But you are not like this. You are not broken. You are not failing. Your mind is not malfunctioning. You are overwhelmed. Your brain has slipped into protection mode, analyzing, predicting, rehearsing, trying to keep you safe from imagined threats, future mistakes, and invisible judgment. That's not weakness. That's survival. And somewhere inside you, the part that still believes in wisdom, or God, or grace, or simply in the version of you you're trying to become, knows this. You were never meant to live your entire life inside your own head. You were built for clarity, not loops, for truth, not noise, for movement, not paralysis. So let's walk gently through 10 ways to break the cycle of overthinking and return to clarity. One quiet shift at a time. The first way is simple but powerful. Interrupt the mental loop with physical movement. Your brain cannot interrupt itself, but your body can. Overthinking is a closed loop. Your mind circles the same track again and again, but movement activates a different neural pathway, forcing the brain to switch gears. Stand up, roll your shoulders, stretch. Take 10 steps. Open the window. Change your environment slightly. Some call it God nudging you back into the present. Others call it the universe redirecting your attention. Scripture whispers it too. Be still and know. Stillness begins with coming back into the body, not battling the mind. Ask yourself what your body needs that your thoughts keep overriding. Try this. Stand, breathe slowly, and reset your posture before you continue anything. If you need reminders, the body interrupts what the mind amplifies. Movement makes space that thinking cannot, and a small shift in posture can create a major shift in clarity. The second way is to name the thought instead of obeying it. Thoughts grow louder when they stay vague. They feel heavier when unspoken. They control you when unexamined. But the moment you name a thought, the emotional brain steps back and the logical brain steps forward. Neuroscientists call this affect labeling. It calms the amygdala. Instead of spiraling into, what if they're upset, or what if I fail, you simply say, I am having the thought that, then name the thought. You're no longer inside the thought. You're observing it. Whether this clarity comes from God separating fear from truth, or from life inviting you into awareness, Scripture mirrors the idea. Take every thought captive. Ask yourself which thought has been acting like a leader in your mind, even though you never voted for it. Try this. Write down your loudest thought and place, I am having the thought that, in front of it. If you need reminders, naming weakens grip. You are not your thoughts. Clarity begins with separation. The third way is to shrink the time frame. Overthinking usually happens because your mind zooms too far ahead. Weeks, months, years. The brain collapses under the weight of trying to manage tomorrow with today's energy. Psychology calls this cognitive overload. Clarity returns when you shrink your horizon. Not, what will happen this month, but what is my next 5-minute step? This is ancient wisdom too. Give us this day our daily bread. Not next year's bread, today's. Ask yourself what 5-minute step would help you breathe again. Try this. Pick one tiny step and let that be enough. If you need reminders, the mind panics in months, it settles in minutes. You only need to guide the next step. Clarity grows in smaller frames. The fourth way is to reduce input so your thoughts stop competing with noise. Overthinking doesn't always come from within. It often comes from overload. Too many opinions, too much news, too many notifications, too many comparisons. Your mind cannot hold clarity when it is drowning in input. Neuroscience calls this attention fragmentation. Your mental bandwidth scatters. People think clarity is something you find, but often clarity is what remains when noise is removed. Some say God draws you into quietness. Others say the universe resets you through silence. Scripture affirms, "In quietness and confidence shall be your strength." Ask yourself what noise you're consuming that feels like clarity but leaves you more confused. Try this. Silence notifications for 1 hour or put your phone across the room for 5 minutes. If you need reminders, the mind cannot filter endless noise. Peace grows in simplicity. Less input creates more clarity. The fifth way is to focus on sensation, not speculation. When the mind spirals, it has left the present moment. It jumps into future scenarios, imaginary consequences, and possible failures. But the body remains here, now, and returning to it interrupts speculation. This is interoceptive grounding, noticing physical sensations to quiet mental noise. Feel your feet on the floor, feel your hands resting, feel your breath rise and fall, feel the temperature of the air. Your body is an anchor. Your mind is a storyteller. One tells truth more often than the other. Scripture mirrors this wisdom. Be still. Stillness begins in the body. Ask yourself what this moment truly feels like without the story your mind is adding. Try this. 10 slow breaths, paying attention only to sensation. If you need reminders, sensation pulls you out of speculation. Your body lives in truth. Clarity begins here. The sixth way is this. Separate what happened from the story your mind added to it. Overthinking often begins with something small and becomes heavy because of the meaning you attach to it. Your mind doesn't just see what happened, it interprets it, exaggerates it, and colors it with fear. Neuroscience calls this cognitive distortion. Facts are calm, fear is loud. Scripture says, "Do not lean on your own understanding." Not everything your mind imagines is true. Ask yourself what story you've been adding. Try this. Write one line of pure fact without emotion or prediction. If you need reminders, facts are neutral. Fear colors them. Clarity grows when interpretation stops. The seventh way is this. Reduce decision fatigue by limiting your choices. Overthinking often comes not from difficult decisions, but from too many decisions. Psychologists call this decision overload. The more options you have, the harder clarity becomes. Simplify your choices. Choose your top 3 priorities. Rotate 2 meals. Pre-decide bedtime. Limit variation. Scripture's wisdom echoes. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Ask yourself which decision you can simplify today. Try this. Pre-decide one thing right now. If you need reminders, too many options confuse the mind. Simplicity restores clarity. Fewer decisions create calmer days. The eighth way is this. Do the task, not the emotions around the task. Most people think they are procrastinating. They're not. They are overwhelmed by the emotional weight wrapped around the task. The task is simple. The emotion is heavy. Neuroscience calls this emotional load displacement. Your brain treats the emotion as part of the task, making it feel much larger. You do not need to fix the emotion before beginning the action. Ask yourself what task you're avoiding, because you're trying to solve the feeling first. Try this. Choose one task and do it imperfectly. If you need reminders, the task is smaller than the fear. Action breaks loops. You don't need to feel ready. The ninth way is this. Speak to yourself the way you'd speak to someone you love. Your inner voice shapes clarity more than your circumstances do. Harsh self-talk activates the brain's default mode network, the part responsible for rumination and overthinking. Scripture calls you to love your neighbor as yourself, meaning the tone you use on yourself matters. Ask yourself whether you would speak to someone you love the way you speak to yourself. Try this. Replace criticism with the phrase, I am learning. If you need reminders, harshness fuels overthinking. Kindness rewires your brain. Speak to yourself with tenderness. The 10th way is this. Anchor your mind in what is true, not what is loud. Overthinking amplifies noise, fear, imagination, worst-case scenarios, old wounds. They all get louder. But loud thoughts are rarely true thoughts. Neuroscience calls this cognitive anchoring, bringing the mind back to what is real, not what is imagined. Scripture says, whatever is true, think on these things. Truth calms, truth steadies, truth silences fear. Ask yourself what truth you've forgotten today. Try this. Speak one grounding truth slowly until your breath eases. You are not weak for overthinking. You are human, and you care. But clarity has not left you. It is beneath the noise. It is waiting for you in these quiet, gentle shifts. And now, you are returning to yourself again. This is Quiet Grind Daily, where self-improvers reset, calm mind, consistent action, guided by the Quiet Guide. If this helped you slow down or breathe deeper or think more clearly, you might want to subscribe. Not from pressure, but so you always have a quiet moment waiting whenever life feels loud. Come back when the world feels overwhelming, or stay connected. There's another quiet moment waiting in the next video we share.